And we're bringing on our final guest, Danielle Marcus. And Danielle was on the show a few months ago, but Danielle is such a prolific writer that um, she has another book that's just come out. And so we're having her back. I think her book came out last Tuesday, if I'm not mistaken. And so, Danielle, welcome back to Black Authors Matter TV. And Danielle is under the Black Odyssey umbrella with the never sleeping, always up. I entice. I don't know when she sleeps because I don't care what time I send her an email. And sometimes I do stuff late because I'm a night person. I'll send her something at midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, and she will answer me back. So anyway, Danielle, welcome back to Black Authors Matter TV.
Thanks for having me back. I'm so glad to be here.
Well, we're glad to have you back.
Yeah, it's a new book. It's called Jack Girlz. Do you have a copy of your book with you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So this one, now, is this one related to the previous book that you?
No, it isn't. And it's
Okay.
it's a different vibe too.
Okay.
So the other book was Stick of Love. And that came out, when did that come out exactly?
In June of this year.
June of this year. Okay. So you wrote these books. Did you write them quickly, or did they just get released like that?
Actually, these books have been written about a year or two ago. So it took me a while to write these books.
Okay.
And I had to go through the publishing cycle.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, that's the way it goes.
Yes.
But tell us about this current book.
Jack Girl.
Yep. Jack Girlz is actually, I don't like to call it urban fiction. I like to call it reality fiction. So I wrote about 3 women who's going through life trials. One of them is in a marriage where she's a stay-at-home mom, and her husband is so toxic and controlling. It's like there's no escape. He brought her from the projects and took her in, and it's like she never worked, so she has no way out, so she feels trapped. Then her best friend, Diamond, she's on the verge of losing everything. She has a business that she running, the bills aren't getting paid, her car's about to get repossessed. And then the third friend is Angel. And Angel is what you call a setup chick. So her way of being a setup chick.
Oh, okay. That's a setup chick.
I'm not, well, I might, once you just explain it, I might know what it is. But this is my first time hearing about it.
So what a setup chick is a girl who goes to clubs and everything, and she finds unsuspecting men, and she takes for their money.
Oh, okay.
Chick, I got it now.
It's an old scam.
Yeah.
I've heard of it, but okay, but I didn't know what they were called. You know, I didn't know there was.
We know now.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so how do the 3 of them end up in the same place?
Okay, so they're all best friends. I'm sorry.
Who is Jack? Or is there a Jack?
Nope, Jack Girlz is what they are. So basically,
she was thinking something like Charlie's Angels.
I wasn't sure. But you know, Jack is a common name in popular culture for characters, especially in TV series, for characters that are loners, that are kind of but they save the day. This is a loner that saves the day. And there are always, a lot of them are named Jack. It's just amazing. Now, I haven't seen any Black people named Jack in popular culture as far as movies. So I just wonder, okay, Jack Girls. So the Jack Girls, they get together and like form a.
Yep. So basically what happens is they're all sick of life and the hand they're dealt. So with their friend already being a setup chick, she comes up with the bright idea, hey, why don't you guys come with me and we'll get down and rob somebody and our problems will be solved. But the thing is they end up robbing the wrong person. So after robbing the wrong person, they end up owing a very dangerous man. And they don't have no way to get the money that they owe him or anything. So they come up with a plan to start robbing people to get money.
Oh,
Okay.
sounds dangerous.
It sounds
It's
intriguing.
very dangerous.
Okay, I think I like where this is going.
So normally you wouldn't think about women doing this, but so do they like rob bodegas or banks, or do they go do the snatch and grab thing where they go in and steal a whole bunch of Louis Vuitton stuff and then sell it online? What do they do
No, actually,
without doing spoilers?
they start an escort service. So the people who hire them are rich men. So they're the men thinking they're getting an escort, but they're end up getting jacked for their things.
Okay, yeah, that's an old scam. You know, it's some old movies that if you see them where old white guys like from some of those black and white movies got scammed like that. I mean, that really is an old scam, but it continues to work because you know, once somebody has had the X number of drinks and then, you know, they're thinking that they're gonna be let's say entertained. You know, the guard is down.
And then, you know, of course, everything doesn't always go as planned. So they put themselves in some very dangerous situations.
Of course.
Okay, so it sounds like it's a lot of action.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
and this book was just released, what, about a week ago, huh?
Yep. It came out November. Yep, November 28th. I had to get the right date. Yep.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank
now
you
you're
so much.
also a screenwriter.
Yes, yes.
And the other book has been adapted into a screenplay.
Yep.
It will be streaming starting in January.
Yep. It's already been submitted, so we're just waiting for the distributor to put it up. And then I'll also have a movie called Confessions that's on Tubi right now.
Okay. Yeah, Tubi is huge right now for authors who are wanting to turn their books into film.
Yes, and it's a great platform for us independent creatives.
Yeah.
Now, did you just do the screenplay, or did you do some of the directing or casting, or how involved were you in the project for The Thick of Love? That's what I'm asking about now. That was your last book that came out in June.
Okay, so actually it's coming out as the movie is called Love All Over Me, but I broke the book down into a screenplay. So I was involved with the whole part of it. I teamed up with a production company called Murray Production. So it's an effort. We're a family, so we just do everything together. And I actually got on a big screen, so you can see me in the movie as well.
Okay.
She's an author, she's a movie producer, and she's an actress.
Now, I know a lot of people they hope or they think about or talk about or want information on how to turn their book into a film. So, were you in the film industry already when you first started writing books, or how did this flow?
Actually, what started me with films is a book that I wrote called Plug Love. That book was actually turned into a film. So that was back in 2017 is when I first got into the industry. So I worked with the company with that. And then ever since I just studied the craft, I took a couple of classes and I decided, hey, this is what I want to do.
Okay. I like that.
How did you raise your budget for it, if you don't mind asking? For the, it's for more for people out there who want to know, okay, it costs a lot of money to, do a film. You have to shoot it, you have to get actors, you have to have it edited, and then, all the process.
And don't forget your extras.
Yes.
In some places you have to pay for locations. I mean, it can add up.
Yeah.
It does. Actually, with the funding for it, thankfully my production company, they came up with the funding for it. So I didn't have the funding. Yeah.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
Are they in your area?
Yeah. In Detroit.
You said yes, they are in Detroit?
Yep, they're in Detroit.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. So did they purchase the film rights, or how does that work? I'm like I said, I'm asking for not just myself, but this is one of the questions we get asked the most at the
I
festival and everywhere.
I actually did have to give over my rights to the company, but I have credits as the writer and I have credits within the film, and I also get, percentage on the back end of it as well.
Okay. Now, how does Tubi work in terms of, because I've only seen a little bit of Tubi, but I keep hearing about it. How does Tubi work in terms of if you put a film on there, uh, how do you pay for placement, and then do you get royalties on viewership? How does it work? Do you know
Actually,
the details on that?
yes, actually it's free to put your film on Tubi. So where you get paid is every time a viewer watches it and the ads play, you get paid off of ads,
Oh, okay. Okay. So it's like YouTube in that regard.
basically.
Okay. Okay. Well, that's the good information. So people out there, if you can if you have your book and write the screenplay and get the actors and the extras and all of that and the location and the soundtrack. Once you get all of that done and shoot it and edit it and then you put it on Tubi, it's a process, I'm sure. So how long did it take from start to finish?
So I started writing, changing it into a script. I say about January. We started shooting around June. I say altogether for the whole process for it to be shot and put up, it was about 9 months.
Oh, that's not bad.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
It wasn't. It wasn't. But it took 9 months because we filmed it in about 2 months, but then we had a premiere, but then we waited about 5 or 6 months after the premiere to put it up.
Okay.
Okay, what did you do that on purpose?
Not really, but we were looking into film festivals, and with a lot of film festivals, you can't have your work already shown. So that's why we did it.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
okay.
And
Okay. Well,
film
that's good
festivals,
information.
those are serious business. I used to go to the
Mhm.
New Orleans Film Festival all the time. And first of all, that's an excellent festival. If you've never been, you've got to go.
I never
Um,
heard of it.
yeah, it's in New Orleans. It's a week long, and they show the super popular movies. That's the first time I saw Green Book was at the New Orleans Film Festival.
Oh,
And the
okay.
Mhm.
first time I saw Harriet was at the New Orleans Film Festival. That's where they premiered it.
Okay.
But so there are the big movies, and then there are the smaller movies, and then when you go into the movie, I got a full access pass. I can go to any movie I wanted to. So we go in, and there's like a little notepad and pencil that you're supposed to, or not notepad, but like a little piece of paper and a pencil you're supposed to pick up as you're going into the movie. And as you're watching the movie, at the end, you kind of rate it, and then
Oh,
you put the little slip in the box as you're going out. So that's how they judge who is going to get like the audience choice or best director or things like that. And then the question and answer period at the end of movies are always pretty fun as well.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why I say you've got to go. They always do it in October. So next year, look into going to the New Orleans Film Festival. That's one of those festivals that they sleep on because everybody thinks Mardi Gras and that's it. But go to that film festival.
Okay. Definitely. I
Parties
wrote
every
it
night.
down.
I'm telling you,
hmm.
they
They
know how to
have
put it
one
together.
here too. I need to find out because I'm not sure when it is, but it seems like they have it in the summer. I need to. They have one that's here almost
Yeah,
every
the
year.
Houston. I think there's a Houston Black Film Festival, isn't there?
Yeah. There
Yeah.
it is. And I need to check that out because I haven't been. I keep getting invited, and then you know how you hear about something, and then by the time you revisit it, it's already passed. And so
Right.
I need to make that part of my things to do for 2024 is to go to the film
Yeah, I
festival.
need to start going back to film festivals. There's also one in Martha's Vineyard that I want to go to. I've not been to Martha's Vineyard yet, but I feel like I live too close to not go. So I'm gonna have to get up there and go to that.
Yeah. So which how many books have you written, Danielle?
I've written 27 books. Well, actually, it's 28 books now, and 2 of them have been traditionally published.
Okay, so you self-published the other
Yeah.
ones.
Independent.
That's great. I mean, it's wonderful. I'm really disheartened by all the people like me who self-publish, and they have, now I'm up to book 15, and I'm thinking about 16, 17, and 18, but I don't know which one I want to do first, and so I have to decide that and all that. But
Yeah, I've been looking into it. I've been kind of slow rolling it, but I've already turned 2 of my books into stage plays, and they did very well. So
Okay.
the next step is to just turn them into movies. I'll get to it sooner or later.
You're
yeah,
gonna do it. You got this.
everybody who reads my books, my Genesis Files and Exodus from Treachery, everybody says it should be either a film or a series, but I don't know how to make it happen. And so and I don't want it to be low budget where it loses something. You
That's the
understand?
reason why I'm slow rolling the project. I don't want to just throw it together, and I don't want to trust somebody to put it together and they make it look like a cheap project. I feel
Right.
like the stories are too strong. And I'm not saying that they have to be million dollar budgets or anything, but I just want somebody who's going to make the movie and put love into it and not just throw it together for the sake of saying that we have a movie.
Exactly. And we have a lot of that going on too, where you throw it
Hmm.
together. Yes.
Yeah. And also where they don't change or water down the essence. My books have like a lot of heart. And I don't know if you would have to have the right filmmaker to convey that. And I have to give up my rights. And then, well, I wouldn't have a problem. I would love to see my books on screen because they're different. The stories are totally different from anything that's out there, period. But they are very good, and I enjoy writing them, and I put a lot of work in writing them. But I kudos to the people who have their books and they just figured out how to get it done. Now, have you ever um, thought about crowdsourcing or any of that? I mean,
I
crowdfunding. That's what I
crowdfunding, I have
mean.
not, but I've been reading about it. That might be a great idea too.
Yeah, I've heard about people who do that. They have an idea for something and they put it on one of those
Yeah,
platforms,
Kickstarter.
Kickstarter,
Do you
and
have to pay it back, or how does that work with that?
Well, with Kickstarter, you have levels, giving levels, basically. So like it can start as low as $1 up to maybe $400, $500, or even $1,000. But for any level that the person pledges, they you would give them something in return. It could be a free book, it could be backstage passes to a concert, whatever it is. And
Okay.
then but the trick is on Kickstarter you only have 2 months. You have to raise the money in 2 months. If
you
you
have to set
don't,
a dollar amount
I'm
on the
sorry.
you have to set a dollar amount
Right.
to
So
start.
if you say something like I want to raise $10,000 in 2 months, um one, you have to raise that $10,000 in 2 months. If you don't get anything. So all of the people who pledged, they won't get charged.
Right.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I don't know if I like that.
but that's the way Kickstarter works. But then there's also GoFundMe is actually a crowdfunding platform. Just people use it for the wrong reasons sometimes. But there's GoFundMe. There's also Patreon. With Patreon, you have patrons who basically give you money. It could be small amounts, maybe $5 a month, $10 a month. You find a lot of YouTubers who have Patreon accounts, and the people who support them are called patrons. And I saw a YouTuber once who his computer broke, and his patrons donated to him to get a new computer.
Oh wow.
Right. So that's another crowdfunding source that you can look into as well.
Now, Stephanie Burnham said, how did you find out about the Tubi book to screen deal for you, Danielle?
Actually, the person who Murray Productions, who I'm working with, they actually reached out to me and we said, let's work. I do films, you write, you got content, let's collab. So that was a blessing for me. And then with
Oh,
That was a blessing. You found somebody who was actually
yeah.
serious. Because I've had people come approach me like that. I'm like, I don't think they're serious. They're just trying to make some money.
oh no, with Charles, when you say you want to do something, he's not going to talk about it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. We're going to do it. And what I like about working with him is once I get to a certain place, he doesn't mind going in and we equal partners and everything. And it's a family environment. And I
Mhm.
find that very important that you find somebody to work with that don't try to water down your voice, that sees your
Right.
Yeah,
how
that was a real issue, watering down your voice. Um, Now, or just really making it cheap. You know what I mean?
yes, yes.
Cheapening your concept. Um, how did you get into screenwriting? Are you self-taught as a screenwriter, or did you come?
I actually I worked with a film company who basically let me do hands-on. So I was there with the process and then they offered a class. So they say, hey, come on, we're going to show you this. And then I did a lot of, YouTube is a university. So I went to YouTube University too.
Okay, yeah,
Yep,
you
nothing
learn
wrong
all
with
kinds of
YouTube
things.
University.
Anything you want to know about, by now you have to be discerning on YouTube, but anything you want to know about between just Googling and YouTube, you can pretty much get the foundation for it. But
Yeah,
execution is still on you, you know,
definitely. And I
person.
find it with changing your book into a film, it's very different than writing a book because with the book you're able to put so many details. You could put all these pages, but you got to condense all that into 90 pages and find the most important thing to put into the movie because you can't
Mhm.
drag it out. So
Right.
that's another thing that I found because the first book that I actually did myself turned into a screenplay was Thick of Love. So that was a challenge. Like, do I want to take this out? No, I want to say this. No, that's not important. So when you find somebody to break it down, make sure they really see your vision because they could take out some very key and important parts as
Very,
well.
very true. Very true.
Yeah, the dialogue is that's the script. I mean, they do have descriptions, but what the actors say is what's on that screenplay and the settings, some of the action. I read the screenwriter's Bible. I mean, I read some of it because I did a treatment for the Genesis files. I wrote a treatment. I found out, okay, what's the process if I want to present this to a production company? And I did the treatment and I sent it in and they said no, it wasn't for them. It wasn't something that they were going to pursue. So
Mm.
I went through that. I did go through that process, and um, I would love for it to happen in the future, but I would hate for it to ruin my story. That's you know,
Exactly.
you know. So did your for Thick of Love, did the essence of your story, were you able to keep that?
Yes, and that's another reason why you're gonna hear me praise the company a lot. But he saw my vision how I saw it. And that's why it was important to work with him. Like certain stuff, like I wanted to explain it, but he tell the actors, no, you gotta do this. They supposed to be in the moment. This is a sad scene. You supposed to do it. And I'm like, hey, that's what I was thinking. That's what I meant for it to be. So,
Now
so it worked out.
where did the actors come from?
Our main character is Erica Pinkett. She was one of the actors in Secret Society, BMF, and she was on Love and Hip Hop. And then Leah, she's been in a few of movies around Detroit. And then we had Santana, who's another actor. So a lot of our actors are Detroit actors that's been in films around Detroit.
Oh, okay. Okay. So did they um do you have a budget to pay them? Does the production company pay them? How does that work?
It's actually it depends on how big your role is. The actors who get paid.
Okay. Okay. Well, you know, this is good information. This will be on YouTube, so somebody might pull it up and find out. The show, we have a YouTube channel. All of our shows on YouTube, and the individual interviews are also posted on YouTube. So our media manager separates them out and uploads each individual interview as well. So, you know, people might look at it and find out all about what you're doing, Danielle, and how that's going. I'm so very proud of you and excited for your
Yes,
success.
congratulations. And I did put your link to the link to your book, Jack Girlz, in the chat. Remember, everybody, this is a brand new book. It's only been out 4 weeks, so let's go out and support this book.
Thank you guys so much for the platform. I appreciate you all.
Well, we
Oh,
appreciate having you. Thank you.
And one final question: do you have another book coming out in 2024?
Yes, it's actually an independent book called Pretty Little Disaster.
That's
Okay.
cute. I like the title.
And do you have a target date, release date for that one yet?
I'm shooting for March of 2024. I just want to give my traditional releases enough time to promote, to get out here.
Right. Yeah, you have to have a promotion period so you can move those books off the shelves
Yes.
and generate downloads on Kindle or whatever device people have or their phones. Well, thank you so much again, Danielle, for being a guest on Black Authors Matter TV, and we are always excited to have Black Odyssey authors on the show. Entice is doing an amazing thing with her imprint, and next week we're going to have a new imprint. So let me just say that in closing after you sign off. I'll just tell people about that, and then we hope you have a wonderful holiday. And thank you so much for being a guest on Black Authors Matter TV.
Thank you too, and same to you.
Have a great night.
You too.